Chapter 6 Season 1 is coming to an end, and I gotta say that I'm a little sad that it's already ending already. When looking back, I think that it was a well-constructed season that improved so much compared to the last few seasons, and I think that it's honestly better than anything we got in Chapter 5. There are plenty of things I want to talk about and show you why I think that this season was amazing. First off, let's look at this map, and damn! It is beautiful. I remember watching the trailer for the first time and I was so excited to see the map when it got revealed because it is visually stunning. It seems like they have actually gone back completely to the more vibrant and colorful look of Fortnite rather than Chapter 5's poor realistic look. And get used to me hating on Chapter 5 this video, by the way. If you can't already tell, Chapter 6 is heavily inspired on Japan, and I know some people might think I only like it because it's Japan, but you can't tell me that you looked at this map and didn't think it was the best thing ever. There are a whopping 16 POIs on the map, and that is the most we've ever had on a Season 1 map. And then later on, they go ahead and drop another POI totaling to 17 by the end of the season. And not every single place looks the same, or it's just another generic drop spot. They're all very unique and pretty. You can make a solid case for almost any location to be the best looking. For me, I think the best one is probably the Night Shift Forest. I'm actually very curious to see where Epic will add their additional locations for the future seasons. And I gotta say that this is probably my favorite map that has come out for the beginning of a chapter ever. And it could maybe be my favorite of all time, just to see how the rest of the chapter goes. And then my personal favorite drop spots have to be Seaport City, Mast Meadows, and Flooded Frogs. Epic also made the bosses stronger. One of them is at Demon's Dojo, and it's the only one POI that has a medallion, and they actually make you work for it. You can also find this giant samurai guy in random areas on the map, but he will also appear on the floating islands now. And by the way, I gotta say, this is probably one of the coolest concepts that we've had for a loot island. When killed, he will actually give you his medallion, and it makes you invisible when sprinting. I can't believe that Epic is actually making good changes, like not having a ton of medallions tied to just one location and making an actual useful invisible medallion. It seems like they actually work on things based on player feedback, unlike some other games. Bullet Drop was thankfully sent into the depths of hell, and we actually got back hit scan. And sure, it makes any gun without a scope worthless compared to the ones with red dots, but the game just feels right at home now. I also feel like the guns aren't super strong, and I usually find myself like carrying like at least like 3 of them in my inventory. I love both the Hollow AR and the Veiled SMG. Those two are probably some of my favorite weapons inside of this season. And moving away from weapons, we actually have 2 masks introduced. We have the Fire Mask, which is alright. I never really use it too much. If it was as strong as the one that the bosses have, then it would definitely be a lot better. And then we get the other mask, which is the Void Oni mask, that one is really fun to use. It's pretty much like an Ender Pearl from Minecraft. Very solid new items, and I'm very curious to see if we're gonna get any more of them. Boons are a new thing added, and they give you like a cool little ability. They kind of remind me of medallions a little bit. Some of their abilities are, faster movement speed, or even just being able to heal in water. They're pretty niche, but a pretty good addition. Every new gun this season is just pretty fun to use, maybe outside of the Oni shotgun, but the loot is solid, and there isn't a weapon I would really deem as broken. Maybe just one thing. I don't think the new Typhoon Blade is necessarily broken, but it is very strong and the movement is amazing on it. And I can't tell you how many times I have died to someone literally hitting me off a cliff with it. You could probably just drop your shotgun and then just use this thing, because I swear you will win more fights with it. Now, this isn't the only sword in the game. They actually brought back the Kinetic Blade as well, and honestly, this has been some of my favorite movement in the game in a very long time. We get to use 2 different swords that are just really fun and also have just great mobility on the side. Now, to help balance them from being really overpowered, they actually added this little percentage to your sword that decreases as you use it, and then once you hit 0, you can't use your weapon anymore. It's like they're learning how to finally balance movement items. Personally, any season that has a sword in it, I'm sold. Having a 1v1 sword fight just makes the season 10 times better, and you basically get into one like every single match. If I'm gonna be honest, my favorite thing this entire season is the little elemental sprites. Both the air and water sprites are adorable, and I kid you not, I actually carry one in like every single game. I mean, how could you not love these little dudes? If I see one on the side of the road, I'm gonna steal it. And if they don't keep these guys in all year long or don't eventually turn them into backblings at some point, then I'm just never going to play the game again. Now, I just mentioned only 2 of them, but there's actually a 3rd sprite, and that's the Earth one, but he doesn't really look as cute. But what you can do with them is that you can actually give him one of your guns, and I'm pretty sure they always turn it into a legendary weapon, which is amazing, unless you get a legendary Oni shotgun. You can also take the little sprites to their shrines, and they will actually give you some good loot there as well. So I think these guys were a great little addition. Another dunk over Chapter 5 is Winterfest. This year, they absolutely killed it. It actually feels like Epic was putting an effort into this winter update by actually making the cabin return, which means that you can actually open up your presents again. I will never understand why they got rid of it in Chapter 5. It's such a small little thing, but it adds so much charm during the holidays. But I also couldn't have guessed that Mariah Carey, Snoop Dogg, and Shaq would also be featured for Winterfest, but it was definitely a little silly. One of the things I look forward to the most about a new season is the cosmetics. The game is just a lot more enjoyable when you want to grind for the battle pass, and I will say that this pass was a little bit of a miss for me, which is a shame because I feel like the past few Season 1 battle passes end up being some of my favorite for the entire year. Anyways though, Jade and Night Rose are probably my favorite skins in the past. I love that Baymax was also included, and Godzilla is the perfect bonus skin that we could have ever asked for. But honestly, every other skin though I could really pass on. I mean, the Hope skin is pretty cool, but it's not one of my favorites. Now the battle pass may have been a miss, but the item shop was actually really good. My dream collab for Fortnite was Cyberpunk 2077, and I'm so happy that we got Johnny Silverhand in the game. Now, he probably wouldn't be too happy to hear that you are buying his own cosmetic, but being able to ride around in a Quadra while having Mantis blades as your pickaxe and carrying the nuke Johnny literally blows up Arasaka Tower with just brings me so much joy. I instantly bought everything. Both DC and Star Wars got some Japanese themed cosmetics that look cool as fuck, and you can't forget about all the Hatsune Miku items. I literally can't go an entire day without having one of her songs just playing in my head. It's genuinely gonna be a problem. This is easily their most successful festival skin because I see at least like 10 of them per game. Collabs aside, there was also some really cool Fortnite original skins. I think my favorite is the Samurai one though, that's also featured on the island. And I'm also very happy to see that a lot of the survey skins that we saw last year actually look like the final version. I'll never forget you, Aphrodite. The best way to make a bonus skin is to have it line up with the season's theme, and they couldn't have made a better choice over Godzilla. He got a really cool event that literally made you turn into him. Lasering everybody and curb stomping people as Godzilla was truly some kind of experience. And if you also did the most damage to Godzilla, then you'll actually be rewarded with his medallion, which is just another great way to implement the medallion system. Now, Kong was also featured. He just randomly shows up at the beginning of a match, which is fine, but imagine if someone else could become Kong and you had a Godzilla versus Kong fight on the Fortnite island. It could have been the best season ever, but regardless, it was still an amazing time to play the game. To give my final thoughts on this season as a whole, I think that it improves upon previous seasons and that it excels when we compare this to the beginning of Chapter 5. The weapons, movement, and map are all fantastic, and it kept me wanting to play more, which is important. There were so many times last year that I just got so bored of playing the game, but now I'm actually wanting to play it more and more every day. I really hope that Epic crushes it for Season 2 and that they continue this momentum for the rest of the year. For my final rating, I would say that Season 1 is around an 8 or a 9 out of 10. But let me know what you guys think with a comment down below, and if you liked my content, then check out my other stuff. Alright, bye.